Good evening and welcome to Sporlitics, where sports and politics mix and mingle. I'm Stacey Johnson. Joining me tonight is Oguna, the Nigerian moderate Republican, also known as Late Night Oguna or the
The
voice of reason
late.
Oguna. Stephen, the independent thinker, who's late. Keith, the
Also known
constitutional
as,
conservative.
well, never mind.
He's always on time. And my cousin Todd, with the roses in the back. Can't wait to see who has something to say about that. Tonight we have a packed show for you. The USA men's basketball earns the gold medal. The USA women's basketball for the Olympics 2024 Olympics in Paris got the gold medal at the buzzer. It was an exciting game. A judge okays a special counsel's request for a 3-week delay in election subversion case against former President Trump. Jack Smith told Judge Tanya Chutkan that he needs more time to analyze the Supreme Court's ruling on Trump's immunity. Jesse Ventura defends Waltz. Jesse Ventura, he was a former governor of Minnesota. He defends Waltz against Vance's attacks on his military service. U.S. assets deployed to the Mideast in hopes of helping Israel, but will unlikely alter Iran's mind about retaliating. The U.S. has urged regional allies to pressure Iran and deter a potential escalation. The Olympics have ended, and Americans have the most medals of any country. Texas's abortion ban has left doctors with their hands tied. However, New Mexico's governor is inviting them to her state. Defense Secretary abruptly revokes plea deal with alleged 9/11 mastermind, KSM co-conspirators, and the Supreme Court's looking into it, I think. The World Health Organization is worried about Mpox and more. First up, if we can talk about, I would like to talk about the Olympic count. Stephen, yeah, there you are, Stephen. I'm going to share my screen and we're going to talk about the Olympic count. I think Keith kept calling me while while the men were playing basketball, excited and say, "Wow, this is so great, Stacey, that we talk about sports." I'm like, "Keith, we've been talking about sports and politics since the inception of the show. That's what we do." So if we look at the medal count, the United States won a total of 126 medals. Let me make that screen bigger for the folks. Of a total of 126 medals, China won 91. Next runner up was Japan with 45. Australia with 53, and France with 64. Out of that, the United States won 4 gold medals, and China tied us, winning 4 gold medals. Keith, you were so excited about what was so exciting to you about that men's basketball game?
Well, let me just say this that China, not that I know of, I mean, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if China had a basketball team, or if they did, they certainly didn't place. And the reason I say that is because on the basketball, when it's interesting how they tally up the gold medals. Every player on the basketball team got a gold medal. Every player. So actually, we have more gold when you think of it that way. But of course, they counted as 1 gold medal per team, I suppose. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Stephen. You would know about that. So I think that in team sports, when a team wins, the whole team gets a medal, a gold or whatever it is, gold, bronze, silver, or bronze. So the United States not only won more medals, but they also got more gold medals. If you're counting every medal that individual players got. Same thing
Right.
with
Okay, so all
so
right,
that's
well,
what I
Keith,
like.
that's like what you're saying. I'm just going to say, if you were compare that to China, who matched us with the number of gold medals, they have the same amount as well. If they gave it to an entire team, or they have The United States has more because according to this, I'm going to share my screen. According to this, if you can see it, there we go. China had a female basketball team that played Spain, and then they had 3x3. Oh, look at those kids; they're so cute.
Yeah,
The women's basketball team at the Paris Olympics,
but they
and
lost
they
to
had
our
three
team.
by three basketball tournaments.
Our team beat them. Our girls, our ladies beat them.
Well, I don't even know if we went against them because they had to get past Spain first, but we'll look that up. I'll look that up, or you can look it up. Why don't you Google that, Keith, while I'm doing the show? Why don't you Google that? Stephen, did you want to talk about what you thought about the women and men's basketball teams and their buzzer beating winning wins?
Well, congratulations to them all, and hail to the USA. And I am so glad the Olympics are over. Did anybody see Tom Cruise at the closing part? I missed it. I just heard about it a few
Yes,
minutes
I
ago.
did. I
It's like
watched
he
it. I watched the
scaled,
whole
he scaled
closing.
down.
It was really good. Yes, he jumped. He flew down on some string. Then he went and got the actual flag, the Olympic flag from Simone Biles, and then he ran to a motorcycle, put it on a motorcycle. Then he drove the motorcycle through Paris and the Eiffel Tower, and he got on a plane through the back, and then he
But yeah, that
parachuted
might be
out of the
part of.
plane into LA. It was really, really incredible.
I
And
missed it.
then
I got to go
Snoop
back and see
Dogg.
it.
Yeah, you can probably go on YouTube and watch it.
Oh yeah, yeah. Then I heard it might be part of his next movie. The part two
Oh
of the
wow.
next one or something. I don't know, but it might be. But I was glad it was over because this week, Stacey, I don't know if you know, but NASCAR was back and they were in Richmond, Virginia.
No, please tell. Please do tell.
Oh, it was a great race, and it's a controversial race, and it's for a long time we don't have that in Richmond. Richmond is just follow the leader. It's pretty bad. It's kind of drunk, but this one was a great. The whole race was good. All the racing was good, but at the end, you have Austin Dillon who drives for Richard Childress, who used to be the owner of the team where Dale Earnhardt Sr., who died in about 1991. He drove the number 3 car. Well, now Austin Dillon drives the number 3 car, and so the thing about Earnhardt Sr. was he would say that bumping is racing. Like just a little bit of bumping, you got to race it. It's all racing. This guy in the last lap of Richmond, and almost where the finish line was, he just took off. If he hadn't hit Logano, he would have wrecked. He hit Logano in his right bumper like a cop that tries to spin a car. He hit him in his bumper in the right place, spun his car, and then that propelled Denny Hamlin to go past them both. But Austin Dillon still had some power, momentum going, and he hit him the same way, and he wrecked him, both of them, and he got the win. Unbelievable. He's doing really bad this year. I think at that point, out of 38, 39 cars, whatever it is now, he was about 30, probably about 30. And this has bumped him up because now he got a win. And if you get a win in NASCAR with the point system they have now, you have a really good chance of making the playoffs, because if only 16 different people within 26 races, if 16 people within 26 races win a race, then you're in. So if 17 win, then Austin Dillon, number 3, Richard Childress driver, he's out. So he did it to do that. So the big controversy is NASCAR just came up a few minutes ago and said they're taking that away from him. They're not going to let him have that as an option to get into the playoffs because he wrecked the 2 guys. Now that he came from the Earnhardt camp years ago, when Dale Earnhardt Sr. raced, that's when we had the most fans in the world. That's when racing was at its peak. And Earnhardt Sr. never took out 2 guys, but he could take out a guy, and everybody else could take out a guy. But it's just a great move that he took both guys out. It was fantastic. But for them to penalize him shows you how bad NASCAR is. And incrementally through the years, they have done things that have lost NASCAR fans. And that's another move. They have got to reinstate that for him, because there's no way they can accept that. There's no way that any fans that are left like me are going to say, oh, that's good, you penalize him. No, The other two drivers will get him on the track and put him out. You know, they'll put him out every week if they have to. But he's a smaller time driver than the big time drivers he took out. And but if it had been smaller drivers that he had taken out, not Denny Hamlin, who's like number 3 or 4 right now, he's a big time driver. If he had knocked him out and somebody else that's top 15, then they wouldn't have worried about it. If it was two, bottom feeders, you wouldn't worry about it. But they punished him like, no, we don't need arbitrary punishment in NASCAR. We need the real, like, baseball rules. Like when it's time for you to get hit in the head with a baseball the way it used to be, it was time to get hit in the head with a baseball. If it's time for somebody to wreck you, it's time for somebody to make it up and wreck you. So it really is a black eye for NASCAR right now, like a lot of things they've done in the past 20 years.
So I want to talk about the Olympics and specifically Jordan Childs and what happened with her. Let me share my screen and talk about what happened to Jordan Childs. She won a bronze medal, but now they're trying to have her give her bronze medal back. So CNN.com talks about panel member. Oh, they're trying to make me sign into CNN, huh?
You don't want to do that.
Panel
You never get
member.
out.
Here we go. Panel member who ruled on Team USA's Jordan Childs bronze medal appeal has a history of representing Romania in legal cases. There's Jordan Childs. She won by herself, not as part of the team, a bronze medal. And now they're trying to take it away from her. What is your comment, Aguna, about that? And they're trying to give it back to this gymnast, Romania's Anna Barbusu.
If I was her, I just keep the medal. I would just keep the medal. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? I mean, it's all shady about how, because apparently the U.S. did an appeal, and they were saying that the U.S. missed the appeal deadline by 4 seconds. And they appealed, and they actually provided, 4 seconds, and then they came back and they showed where, hey, you know what? Actually, we did make the deadline, but then they came back and said, well, we already made our decision, so we can't go back on it now because we made a decision, even though you provided proof that you made the cut. So, I mean, all of that is real shady. I think at the end of the day, maybe you give them both a bronze, but you shouldn't strip, someone of the medal on a technicality. Again, this is. I mean, at the end of the day, and then based on the fact that when you're dealing with the Olympics and a lot of these international committees, there's a lot of fraud and shadiness that goes on and plays into it. So, at the end of the day, there's a lot of corruption, right? So they're not going to try to change their minds, but the fact that they made the decision and they were wrong, and then they can't go back on a wrong decision. Again, if I was her, I just wouldn't give it back. Maybe they'll take her name officially off of it, but I wouldn't give the medal back. I'm like, you know what you going to do? Come find me in the U.S. and come take the medal if you're bold enough, but I keep it.
Well, the problem with that, and I'm going to welcome Bishop T to Politics or Sports and Politics Mix and Mingle, Bishop T. The problem with doing what Aguna suggests is that if she wants to go back and compete in the Olympics in 4 years in Los Angeles, United States, her home country, they may say no.
Yeah, that's possible. I think Aguna's bringing up the famous Reggie Bush option, where a lot of fans were telling Reggie Bush, don't give that Heisman back, hold on to it. But ultimately, man, gymnastics, bronze medal, not really that memorable. But a controversy like this makes you, a controversy like this makes you way more memorable. So I'm thinking she can stretch this moment to who knows what and how long, man. You can get commercials out of this, all types of visibility that she never would have gotten. Yeah. This might be the best thing that ever happened to her, man.
Right. Steven, Jordan Childs, and it comes to her. Do you agree with Aguna? Both of them should keep the bronze so that Jordan can compete in Los Angeles?
No, you can't do that. If that's what they say they're going to do, then that's what you have to go by, because like Aguna says, I agree. It's so shady. The Olympics are so shady. Most things are shady. So you just have to accept it for what it is. And like you're saying, Stacey, it's you have to keep yourself open for the future. You can't do that to yourself. And if something comes down the road where they can prove it, otherwise, maybe she'll get it back. Maybe she'll have some way that she can appeal this. I'm not sure, but if that's what they say, like when they say, oh, it's a man boxing, and then they say, well, it's not, whatever they say at the end of the day, oh, it was a woman the whole time, then that's what you got to go with, whatever it is, because they make the rules and you have to follow them. So that's just what it is. No matter how much it looks obvious one way or looks really, it's really sad. I'm sad for her. I wish she could keep it. I wish, and if she wants to, yeah, whatever, she can keep it. But like I'm gonna say, they wouldn't give it to her. And like you said, like we said again, no, that's not a kosher move. You just have to do what they want you to do and play that game and work hard and try to get them not to screw you up the next time.
Okay, so Keith was talking about Aguna. I want to tell Aguna and Bishop T that Keith kept calling me during the Olympics, during specifically the USA men's basketball team was playing, and Steph Curry was hitting those shots, and he was telling Kevin Durant, "Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me." That's what he said. So let me see if I can share my screen and how he hit those 3-pointers like it was nothing. So Keith was so excited. He said, "Boy, this thing about sports is so exciting." I said, "We've been doing sports and politics since our inception."
Stephen Curry. You know, at this point, I ran out of superlatives to describe this dude right here. Right when you think you've seen everything from him, he goes out there and does something that makes you want to turn to your neighbor and say, hot diddly dee. And men's basketball gold medal game, we got plenty of diddly dee moments. Let's get Paris Team USA taking on France in the gold medal game. LeBron James and Stephen Curry looking to lead the way for the U.S. squad, and both would stand on business today. Steph is coming off that heroic effort against Serbia on Thursday when he dropped the game-high 36 points. And while Steph didn't quite drop 36 today, he was just as lethal. The babyface assassin put together another epic performance, dropping 24 points on 8 3-pointers. He also hit a couple of threes late in the fourth quarter that made you want to say diddly dee. And check it out, he even had everyone doing the night-night celebration. No, really, he had LeBron James doing it too. LBJ had 14 points, 10 assists, 6 rebounds. And ladies and gentlemen, Team USA goes on to defeat France 98-87. Better yet, Steph Curry wins his first gold medal. And also, former Sacramento Kings player Tyrese Halliburton won his first medal as well. Go ahead with your bad self.
Okay,
first of all, I want him taken off the air. Every television station in America should ban him, whoever that sportscaster is.
He was hilarious.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, he just had his own style. But Bishop T, let me ask you this. Steph, for Kevin Durant to even like goad Steph Curry, to even imply and say something to Steph Curry like he wasn't doing what he should do, to the point that Steph Curry said, "Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me," after he hit those 3-pointers. I mean, I think Kevin Durant's got a lot of nerve. Bishop T?
Kevin Durant is a legend in his own, so he has a right to say
Him and his
something.
mama. Him and his mama, yes.
If he has a right to say something if he chooses to. But the best quote of the Olympics comes from, once again, the great Anthony Edwards, Ant-Man, the young kid, where after the gold medal ceremony where they're hanging out, and he tells Steph Curry, "I'm glad you showed up 4 days ago." Boom, perfect quote, because Steph really didn't play well until the last 2 games where he just caught a heater once again. But that's the greatness of Steph Curry, man. There's few things as exciting in sports as you see in the first quarter like Steph Curry's hot. Because you never know how bad it's going to get for who's ever guarding him. This man looked off Kevin Durant and shot a game-winning 3 over a double team. Like, nobody else gets to do that. But that's Steph Curry, man. Shout out to the chef.
Now, I read somewhere, and I don't know where it is, but with all the money that Kevin Durant has, they said somehow he looks homeless, and he finally got a haircut.
Hey, it's interesting, Stacy. Curry. I just want to point out, Curry. I don't watch basketball. You guys know that I mostly don't, watch these sports. But I was looking at this one, and I was impressed. I have to say I was definitely impressed. And I saw that Curry. I mean, I heard that Curry is what, 6'2"? That's my height. 6'2". The guy's short compared, especially to that young kid. Was that guy on
to
the
Kevin
opposite?
Durant. He's
Yeah.
short.
Yeah, well, I mean the guy on the other side,
And
that
LeBron.
tall giant. No, the 7'4" guy, that real skinny kid,
Yes.
about
Wimpy.
20 years
Yes.
old. But of course, you told me that he plays for the NBA. So I just wonder what, that's kind of interesting. I wonder what Nas thinks of that. I mean, you got both teams with NBA players. So
What's your point? You're saying, wait, let me explain to Bishop T what you're saying. You're saying that how is an NBA player playing for France as opposed to playing for the United States, correct?
yeah, and you guys know
Okay,
me.
thank you.
I know you guys will criticize me for this, but you know me, I'm a patriot. So, I like to, I take it
So
seriously.
Bishop T and then Nas. I mean,
What are we,
Bishop T
what
and
are
then
we
Akuma,
talking
I'm
about?
sorry. And
Yeah,
then
What are we
Steven.
talking about?
What am I talking about?
The kid is from France. That's his home country. He's from France.
Right.
That's why
I
he's
understand.
playing for France.
So
But the
French
kid is-
players shouldn't be allowed to
Go
play
ahead.
in the NBA, is what you're saying.
No,
Not
that's
for
not
both.
what he's saying.
Well, I'm asking him because if he's from France and he's playing on the French team in the Olympics, what?
Well, which is he? Is he a French citizen or is he an American citizen?
He's
It
a
doesn't
French
matter.
Oh,
It doesn't matter.
It
We're not
matters.
populist. It's a global. The NBA is popular around the globe. All right. So if people from France are good enough to play in the NBA, they should be able to play in the NBA. So you're saying that if people in the U.S. are good in soccer, they should be allowed to play in England in the Premier Cup.
No, they shouldn't. No, I mean if you're an
You should be
American,
allowed to play in a major league sport overseas.
if you're
He's
an
saying
American,
build the wall. Don't let him
let
come
me
over
say
here
it
What
and
again.
that
play in
makes
the NBA.
Build the
absolutely
wall.
no
Build the
sense.
wall. If you're an American, you should play on an American team. If you are French, you play on the French team. Okay, that's fine. But
And what planet are you living on?
all it is my
But
opinion.
maybe he's French. Maybe he's actually a French guy. Do we know that he has American
he
citizenship or French?
Stephen, listen to what Keith is saying. He's saying that a French person born in France shouldn't be allowed to play in the NBA.
No, he's not. He's not
That's what he
saying that.
said.
That's what he
He's
wait.
not
Are you
saying
saying
that.
that? Wait, stop. Are you saying that, Keith?
No,
That's
are
what you
saying,
just
Keith?
said. Then what are you
No.
saying?
no. I
Then
said
what are you saying?
during the Olympic competition, I said he should not be allowed to play if he's going to play on another. If he's he's an NBA player,
He should play for
not
the
be
United
playing-
States and not France if he lives in the United States, even
Why?
though he's from France.
He
I
was
don't know
born
where
in-
he's
he was
from.
born
Maybe
in
he's from France.
He's
Yeah,
from
yeah.
France.
Yeah, but does he have citizenship in France or the
Yes.
United States?
France.
If he has citizenship in France, he should play in France. If he has it in the United States, he should play in the United States. And I think that's what Keith is saying.
Well, thank you, Stephen.
Okay,
You're
we're
very
gonna move on.
No.
But that's not what he said. He
I
was
know,
over
but
there
I'm
pointing
helping.
out
We help
that
each
you
other. We help
rotate-
each other, bro.
he's not-
Right.
But that still doesn't make any sense. So my daughter was born here. She can actually go and play soccer for the Nigerian national team if she wanted to.
Not with Keith rules around
No.
here.
No,
buddy.
he's just saying, if we're asking the question, do you have to have the citizenship to that country to play for the Olympics? Like if you're French and you play in American NFL, NBA over here, then do you have to have citizenship to play for France in the Olympics, is what he's saying.
You can have
No, we
dual
just-
citizenship.
No, it's very
Okay, you can have
interesting.
dual
We just
citizenship and pick whichever team you want. And
We just talked about a girl that would be stripped of her bronze medal.
I prefer.
They want to
you
take
don't
the
watch
bronze
Keith is saying
medal
three different
away
things.
from an American. Why? They want
Okay,
to take
I
the
gotta
bronze
move on.
Why are you being so populist? You should go where the money is.
They want
Okay.
to take the
Okay, I gotta
bronze
move on.
medal away from this girl who earned it. They want to take her bronze medal
That was
away.
the
We
last
already
topic.
talked about that.
We already
Hey,
talked
Keith,
about that. Keith, what
Keith,
I
is
know
we
that.
talked
wrong?
about it. I'm not going back to it. We already
No, I know
discussed
that,
it.
but I'm just saying you guys are
Okay.
okay with that, but you're not okay. But
We are.
But
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
the guy that is
Sir,
Keith,
wrap
I'm
it
lost.
up.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're
Wrap it
talking
up.
about.
No, don't tell him. Don't
As
tell him. I got to move on.
Clearly
I
neither
do
do
want to
you.
talk about.
Hold on, Stacey. As a representative for the Olympics, Keith, we don't want you to watch in 2028. We don't want your viewership. Stay away.
well,
No
I
more
can't
Olympics
help it.
for
I'm
you.
here in
He
LA.
actually got excited about sports. Let's just let him have his time.
No,
No, but then you got
We've been waiting for
being
over a
excited
decade for
and
this.
senile. Being senile about sports and excited are two different
No, he
things.
Thank
just
you,
doesn't. He doesn't know that much about it yet. He's learning. We
Clearly,
ought to help
clearly.
everybody else because there's people on the
We're
show
educating
watching that don't know much about sports either. They could learn something while we teach Keith
He
something.
doesn't want to learn. He's making
Yes.
us dumb by even trying to explain
He's
about
asking
the sport.
questions. I'm learning stuff, and you are too. Again, you don't know
No,
everything.
I'm not learning anything from Keith. Don't put me on that island.
No, I mean in general, you
The
learn something.
show is about sports and politics. This man knows neither. Why are you here, sir?
Okay, I'm going to share my screen, and I want to talk about at the 2024 Olympics. The Summer Olympics had for the first time break dancing. The Canadian b-boy Phil Wizard takes gold in Olympic
He
breaking
was good.
final.
He was good, man.
Who
From
wants to
where?
start on? You see the
Canada.
picture. Who wants to start on this? This is AP.com. Who wants to comment first about
Yeah,
this
let,
I'll
atrocity?
comment
let,
about
let
it.
me.
I'll
No,
comment.
no, sir. Your Olympic
Hell
visa
no.
has been taken.
Hell no.
I would
I'll
like.
start.
I'd
I'll
like to
start.
say, just like in
Hold
the
on.
movie that I saw with the Bruce Lee movie,
Sir,
when the
hold on. We're
Japanese
not talking
fella,
about Bruce Lee, sir.
they got an
This is
American.
breakdancing.
Sir,
Well, let me
stop it.
finish
Why
up.
are you
Let me
being
just say
racist,
it.
Keith?
Let me
Quiet.
have my piece. Let me have my piece.
Go
And
ahead, Keith.
I don't know if you guys saw that movie, but it was so funny. I thought there was a scene in the movie where this white guy, businessman, was looking for a champion fighter to fight Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee was just beating up everybody. So they had to get a guy from America. And guess what? Chuck Norris, the white boy from America. And then the guy that was with him, he said in Japan, he said, "Who can do karate better than Japanese?" So the white boy stepped up to the plate and kicked his butt. I guess that's what
Okay,
Take your
happened
thank
with
you.
medication.
the
Yeah,
break
please
Thank
take
dancing.
everybody. Take
It
your
came out of New
medication.
York, out of the Bronx,
Recommended
break
for a reason.
dancing during my generation. Pop locking. I know where pop lockers were from.
No.
I know all those guys. Okay, so I know that they came back in the 70s, in 78. So here we had, I didn't see one single, well, maybe there was one. I didn't see too many brothers out there pop locking or break dancing. But the Japanese won. I mean, the Chinese and the Japanese won.
No, he
Thank
was
you for that
Canadian.
No, they
very
did not.
long,
Thank you.
ridiculous.
Canada
Okay.
won.
Ah,
A
Canada
Japanese
won.
girl.
And they played
Chinese Canadian. He was Chinese Canadian.
Yeah,
Okay,
well,
what
He was from
country?
China,
He
but he
was
competed for
He
Canada.
was from Canada. He was
Bishop
from Canada.
T
There's no
or
such thing
Arjuna?
as Chinese Canadian. What
Yeah,
is that?
but he was born in China, but he represented
What are
Canada.
you talking? You guys are racist.
Sound
I know
really
you guys are
racist.
racist.
That's not
That's
true.
all you
Go
see is
ahead,
race.
No, that was a joke
Arjuna.
on the earlier discussion.
Arjuna.
Yes. I mean, at the end of the day, when breakdancing came out in the 80s, right? You realize the 80s were over 40 years ago, right?
Yes.
40 years ago. So, yeah, it's had a little bit of time to migrate to other cultures, and other people, especially with the rise of hip hop, have adapted and assimilated to those dance styles. So we should embrace the fact that other nationalities have come to embrace it. I mean, if you look at breakdancing and some of the things that I'm surprised Chris Brown didn't compete, but at the end of the day, that guy was good. I mean, he was doing some moves I didn't even see in Beach Street or breaking one or two, the Electric Boogaloo. He was doing some stuff I've never seen.
Well, I was in middle school, early high school. We had breakdance. It was huge. It was the hugest thing in the world, and we loved it. We all did our best with it, and it was huge. But like Laguna said, that was about 40 years ago.
40
And
years ago.
in 2028, they're not going to have breakdancing. They said because I think that Australian woman ruined it for everybody.
Yeah,
What
because she
happened?
only practiced for
It
30
was being
minutes.
phased out. It was being phased out anyway. But
What
that's
happened?
what I was going to hit on.
What
The
happened, you
The
guys?
Australian woman
Yeah, she
who
wasn't feeling
This
good.
looked like you talking about politics. She just was overmatched and just underprepared, and she tried to. She was major in movement.
Aguna, it's big.
Yeah,
It's
but have
bigger
you
than
seen
that.
her tape to get in there? She had a demo tape to get, or whatever she did. She won to get her spot, and she did pretty good. She was a little bit fluid, but when she got there, I think maybe she had an injury or she was real nervous. Something wasn't right with her.
All
Oh,
right,
This
so
is
we got
called. This
somebody
is
from You
called.
Gotta Love YouTube. Wait a minute, Bishop, that said, I agree with Keith and Steven. They're right.
On what?
yeah.
Aguna is
Whoever
preaching
that
on
is
this
needs to be
one.
more
Well,
intentional.
And Stacy, please read the comments now before, not later when you're on another topic. So that was at 8:55, 5 minutes ago. And I think 5 minutes ago we were talking about basketball, right?
So the commenter believes that you can't be from a country and play in the NBA. You got to
Right,
be from.
right,
Yeah, that makes
right,
sense. Good luck with that one.
right.
That's not. No. You're
It's about
spinning
the
it
world.
wrong, sir. That's not what I said. I said the
Well, I mean, you couldn't
Olympics.
even explain what you said.
I said the Olympics. You can't be in the Olympics and be representing another country and be in the
So you
Olympics.
can't be from the U.S. and represent France, even
Right.
if you're from.
All right, we got, okay,
Interesting.
thank you. I
Even if
gotta
you're a
move
dual
on.
citizen.
Sports and
Well, my daughter will compete for
specifically,
Nigeria if she wants to.
the
Read
Olympics,
her,
I
call
think
her,
were
whatever.
incredible. They were just absolutely incredible. And I love that the closing ceremonies, the French had this woman singing the song, I Did It My Way. In other words, this is the way the French wanted it, and that's the way the French did it,
Yeah, that's cool.
which was
We
really
didn't hear
interesting.
from
I'm glad
Todd.
we're back to regular sports.
We didn't hear from Todd.
Oh, do
no.
we want to hear from Todd?
Much
Todd,
better
we're
than what
talking
we
about
heard in the
break
last
dancers.
5 minutes.
Break dancers. Now, Todd, didn't you want to talk about a black break dancer in the Olympics? Was there one?
Ma'am, they want you to pay attention to the comments as we're doing the topics, number one. Number two, break dancing in the Olympics. That's how many blacks were in the Olympics doing this breakdancing thing? Probably one.
Wow.
And when that would be like, for example, rappers being in the Olympics and they're all white except for one.
That's right. That's right. It's mind-boggling.
I told
For
you.
real. Hey, so would you say the same thing about karate
Mm-mm.
Who can do
Well,
karate better
or
than
taekwondo
wait a
or
minute.
ping pong?
Wait a minute. Who are you
Or
talking to, Aguna?
I'm talking to you.
Oh, well, just let me wait a minute, white boy. Let me understand what you're asking.
I'm asking. So based on the event,
Yeah.
'cause if you go back in track and field, right? You go
Yes.
back to the 40s. How many black people were running track?
Hey, ma'am.
They didn't invent track and field.
They
Aguna, what the hell are you
Well,
doing?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
No,
I
you're
just
not
can't
saying
see
anything.
all.
You're not saying anything. What you're
Okay.
saying is, I think I'm going to have to piece it together the way I do with Keith and Steven. You're saying Chinese should be in karate in the Olympics. Is that what you're saying? Only,
Only Chinese. Only Chinese.
ma'am.
No.
I never said
That's pretty
only
racist.
blacks should
Okay.
be
I'm just
in the
asking for
breakdancing.
But some black people should represent some breakdancing, you would think, because when we were breakdancing, a lot of black people were into it. What happened?
Oh.
That was a
It went
long
went out
time
of favor.
ago.
40 years ago.
No.
Look. Did you see what that
Yeah,
Canadian? You saw
you're
what
right.
he did? Did you see his performance?
No.
Exactly. Go back and go Google his performance. And like I said, I've watched Breaking, I watched Crush Groove, I watched Beach
He was
Street,
good.
and I've never seen any of those moves. Okay,
Wow.
never. He wasn't just doing a backspin. He
Yeah, I mean
was.
it's like
Commenter.
gymnastics. So if
He
you
was
can get
a
rid,
Vietnam
yeah,
man.
if anybody can get good at it.
So
He
the
Yeah.
went up against
commenter
the black
said,
guy
please
from
look at the
France
comments
with a medal.
from You Gotta Love YouTube. Excuse me. Please look at the comments from You Gotta Love YouTube. And they already took breakdancing out of next year's Olympics. And then
Right.
he says, into it, blacks and Hispanics created it. Okay, thank you. We have to move on, but you all cut Todd off and you never let him say his
No, that's
point.
typical.
Well, they cut me off as well, but
Oh, they cut you off too, Bishop T?
I never
And then
cut
they
off.
Yeah,
say
so
one
only sports.
black
So,
breakdancer on the Olympic team.
so I guess only Greek,
USA, there's a
only
picture of
Greeks
him.
can compete in the what Greeks invented certain things, and so we're going to say only the Greeks can compete in
Oh
these
my
events.
gosh, he is still dealing with that. Shut up, white boy.
Well, Snoop did some crip walking.
I'm telling you, Keith's virus is transferring to other people. Aguna, you gotta
Yeah.
take care of yourself. The Keith's virus is transferring.
Nas,
No.
you know
Aguna,
that.
it
Nas,
sounds
you
like
would love that.
Todd is talking about you, and you see those roses behind Todd, Aguna?
What?
What?
You see
What are those roses
sitting
for?
behind Todd, Aguna? What are you
Why?
going to
What's
say
going
about
on?
that?
It doesn't match his beard.
No, he had yellow roses before a long time ago. It's significant for something. It's an anniversary or something. Because I remember when he had them before.
No, yellow
You keeping
stands.
track there, boy?
Huh?
Yellow is friendship.
Right.
Yeah.
I thought it was yellow last time. It wasn't.
Yes, but I'm
So
saying
you
it's
gotta
just
love you.
Yeah, but I'm saying
friendship.
there's some kind of thing that some friend may be sending it to. Whatever. But
Oh.
it's the same thing as it was before.
Yeah, but
Nothing's changed.
it's not as interesting as Steven's upside down American flag. So that's the stress cause.
Says get over it. Laugh out
Oh
loud.
boy,
Get
this is
over
a
it.
sad panel. God, this
And
Hey,
isn't it illegal? Isn't it illegal, Stephen, to do a? You gotta love. YouTube says right. Get over it, and then he says again, you get over it. Oh,
That's
goodness,
what I
you get
said.
over it. Oh, that's hilarious. All right.
All right.
So I want to move on. Oh, wait, you gotta love YouTube says, and I was saying that they took the breakdancing out of next year Olympics because the Australian one was so bad.
Right.
Yeah. Well, they were already going to do that, but that was the point I was trying to make. The Australian woman who has a PhD in some kind of cultural studies
And cultural movement.
she took this as a moment to troll the Olympic Committee, and she had a friend who was on the board as far as for who was going to be the participants because they had Australians who were actually good at this. But this lady who you can look up her on TikTok, she's been making these troll videos for about a year. So she was setting up to do this. So she got a free trip. She got to be an Olympian, all because she wanted to disrespect the art of breakdancing and make it into what she made it into. But that just lets you know, man, white privilege is a month.
Yeah, that's true, bro. That's true.
I want to move on. I want to move on to, let me share my screen. Jesse Ventura, the former governor of Minnesota, is taken up for vice presidential candidate Waltz and his military record. If you look at the Hill.com article, he defends him and he says, I think Vance, this is what Jesse Ventura
Did you just put a
said.
T in Wall's name, Stacy?
No, I said Walls. W-A-L-Z, Walls. So if you look at this, it says, I think Vance is doing a disservice. Wait, let me take Aguna's comment out of here. Oh, she has a PhD in hip hop or something. You gotta love it. All right, thank you. You gotta love it.
Stacy, you're not supposed to out the anonymous poster in the chat room.
They asked me to show what they had to say. So before I moved on to another subject. So he says, I think Vance is doing a disservice to the United States Marine Corps because I know a lot of great Marines and Marines show respect. That's the one thing you get out of a Marine is respect. And Vance ought to look in the mirror and behave like a Marine. Stephen, what's your comments about that?
No, I totally disagree. And Ventura's got some interesting issues his own self. No, you can't steal anybody. You can't steal the valor. It's got to be real or it's not. And that's all Vance is saying. Vance has a right to call him out on it. And there's everybody, like I said on the show last week, there's people in the same National Guard troop that have called him out, and y'all wanted me to tell you
Wait,
names.
what?
Well,
Tell me what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about.
when they were
He's
going to
in the
deploy,
military.
before they were going to deploy to Iraq, they knew they were going to deploy, and he decided to opt out. So they didn't have a commander when they had to get a new commander when they got to Iraq. I don't care what anybody says. I'm just telling you what the story is. You can twist it, pull it, twist it, jerk it,
talking
whatever you
over
want.
him. Please,
Y'all can
please
do
stop
whatever you
talking
want.
over him and let him
But
finish.
he's right. And Ventura is a guy who's taken way too many hits to the head. He's taken more than Joe Biden. So I'm not concerned about what he says. There's stolen valor. And the way this guy works, he's kind of a skeezy, kind of different kind of character. The more that comes out on him, the more people don't like him.
Okay, thank you.
Not true, but
You're making stuff up.
Nope.
Aguna said
So
that's not
let's
the
go over
story.
the actual
Stephen
story,
doesn't know.
Stacey.
So Aguna, what is the story? What
The
is the story,
story
Aguna?
is he enlisted in the military when he was 17.
Who's he?
Walls.
So let's get this. Let's see. Let's understand what Stephen is saying about this whole stolen valor because he's heard it on the dark web.
Because he was 17 when he enlisted.
17. He was in the military for 24 years. So now Stephen and the rest of the right-wing wingnuts want to criticize him getting out of the military, which, by the way, he has every right to do after 24 years of service because he wanted to run for public office, in which he had already told him that he was going to do, right? So he got out of the military and his unit got deployed. That went from leaving and retiring, which he has every right to do, to somehow he's running away from the service and he doesn't want to. And now
he lost part of his rank. He lost part of his rank because of that. Plus, he gave everybody the impression.
Tell him to shut up.
He gave everybody the impression that he was at war. He gave everybody the impression that he never went to war.
Look at Stacey.
Can I finish?
He never went to war.
The stolen valor comment came from a statement that he made when he was talking about getting guns off the street. So he said, like the weapons I used when I went to war.
He never went to war.
And all of a sudden, oh my God, he never went to war. He never went to combat. He was trying to make a point, and he came out and said he misspoke. But at the end of the day,
I misspoke.
If that now, comparing this,
come on, man. Nobody believes you or him. Hey, good try, Guna. Hey, good try. I don't want you to be my lawyer.
Can I finish, please? Thank you.
But Guna, you gotta finish. You can't keep going on. You gotta finish.
Stacey, you're crazy.
They're trying to make a false equivalent of a comment he was trying to make about getting guns off the street to Donald Trump avoiding service because of bone spurs and these things. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Avoidance is not stealing valor. Avoidance is not stealing valor.
At the end of the day, that's not stolen valor. Stolen valor is repeating it and keep on saying it over and over. He did. He said it that one time. All right. So now the far right, and this is a graph. At the end of the day, this is all they got. They're trying to look for little things.
No, he's an a-hole. At the end of the day, we got a lot more.
What Stephen does, he tries to talk.
I gotta move on.
Talk over facts.
Aguna can't go on the entire show.
He kept interrupting me.
This is the Aguna show.
This is the Aguna show. At the end of the day, keep going down his service because it makes you look bad when you keep talking.
No, it doesn't. It's the truth. The truth will set you free, and one day you'll stumble upon it, Aguna.
You couldn't even explain it.
So one day you'll stumble upon the truth.
Yeah,
I hope you don't fall.
Stacey is beyond ridiculous. She's allowing Stephen to just go on. I got to get out of here.
It's a fact. We're just spitting facts.
24 years of service, and you want to talk about it?
Doesn't matter. He can't steal valor. He can't do that. He can't do what he did.
Did you do it?
His own men called him a coward. They called him a coward.
I got to move on.
He's a coward after 24 years of service. He's a coward.
Yeah, when it came time for him to fight, he quit.
Good job on that one, buddy. Keep trying.
Yep, I'm 100%.
Yep, 24 years of service. He's a coward.
The judge okayed a special counsel's request for 3-week delay in election subversion case against Trump. Jack Smith told Judge Tanya Chutkan that he needs more time to analyze the Supreme Court's ruling on Trump's immunity. Why, Cousin Todd? Are you coming back, Cousin Todd? Why is he doing that? Why did he do that? And what does he hope to achieve during this election year if he's Democratic leaning?
Huh?
Okay.
Where'd that come from? That
What
dude
do you
used to
mean?
work for the Hague.
Okay, so go ahead,
There's
answer that,
nothing,
Bishop T.
there's nothing Democratic leaning in his record.
So
I
go
don't
ahead,
get that
Bishop
part.
T.
Yeah, the man is saying he needs more time. I'm sure they hit him with an avalanche of paperwork because that's how these things go, and he and his office want more time. I don't think it's any deeper than that.
Okay. You gotta love YouTube says Trump's the last person to speak on someone's time in the service. So Keith, do you want to talk to why the special counsel asked for more time to review before I move on?
Well, he probably needs. I don't know. It seems to me that all of this is delayed. To the election. I don't know what it is, but I think he's
But it's not.
influenced. I know,
But
but
it's
he's.
not. What it's the election is still going on, Keith. But
Yeah,
they're
I
not
know.
going to look at it. They're going to have a longer time past the time the election
I know, but
moves
they're
on. So
delaying
it's really
this.
to former President Trump's advantage
I don't know. I
that he
really
does
don't
that.
know why he's. I have no idea. Maybe Nas is
Thank
correct.
you. Thank you.
Maybe Nas is correct. I don't know. I'm just saying a lot of this delaying.
Whoa. The
It's
just
kind of
saying
unusual.
part. See, that's where you always get yourself in trouble. The just saying.
No, I mean, we're supposed to have a speedy trial. I mean, that's part of the Constitution.
Okay, now Keith,
all of these delays.
Keith, hold on, think about it.
All these delays.
Benefits
I don't
from
know why.
delays. That's good for you. Why are you arguing against delays?
Okay. Well, I don't know. Again, I don't know.
Let me move on.
Yep.
I want to move on to Mpox. Who can talk about Mpox a little bit and why the World Health Organization is so concerned about it at this time?
Because it's an election year.
Yeah. Good point.
Well,
Right,
the
Stephen?
non-tinfoil hat
It's
answer
the
would
election year.
Yeah, they have to do
Can't
something.
Bishop T, why is Mpox very important?
So the non-tinfoil hat head answer would be in a globalized world where things can travel much more quickly and hit larger groups because of all the big events that we have and the bigger populations that we have. Everybody should be concerned with any situation like that. So it's all hands on deck, unlike previous years where we kind of just, we carved out our own little section in our country and decided to ignore things. No, we're going to need global response, period, when we start thinking about pandemics, viruses, and everything else. This is just us kind of growing up as human beings as far as the world. Like, we have to address this stuff.
Yeah,
So if you
because
look at the screen,
we can trust them.
and Aguna, you can talk to this or
Shut up,
Stephen.
Stephen.
Mpox,
I don't trust them.
formerly known as monkeypox, is a viral disease that can spread easily between people and from infected animals. It can spread through close contact, such as touching, kissing, or sex, as well as through contaminated materials like sheets, clothing, and needles, according to
Oh, my
World Health
God.
Organization. Symptoms
Wow.
include a fever, painful rash, headache, muscle and back pain, low energy, and enlarged lymph nodes. Someone can be traveling, like, Aguna travels a lot. Aguna, you could be traveling and stay in a hotel and bam, get monkeypox from the sheets.
Or like a global event.
That's
like
why
we
he's
just
so
had,
ornery
the
tonight.
Olympics.
Yeah, so for those of us who live on planet Earth, this just makes sense to be prepared. Given the debacle of how Trump handled the last pandemic, you want to be prepared for the And for those on the show, like Stephen, who butthurt over conspiracy theories about all these other things, like an election year, okay, let's just come up with a virus, like every other conspiracy. No, you just want to be prepared.
Yeah, and ruin the economy for the sitting president.
It makes sense for those rational people, unlike those people on the show here who clearly have, their dark web membership must be expiring.
We were right. You were wrong. Every step of the way, you were wrong.
Yeah, sure.
That happened.
Every step of the way, you were wrong. Every step.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
every
why
step.
did you want to get another
You
boost,
know,
Laguna?
You're
You want to
talking
get
mirror
another
again.
boost?
Stephen
Okay,
meltdown.
stop
You want to get
talking.
another
Stop
boost
talking,
stuff?
please. Stop talking, please. We're going to move on.
Stephen,
I
he's an
want to
idiot.
cover the
Give
things
him.
that we have to move on to and get everyone to comment on them so people can hear you. They got to hear you, but they can't hear you if you're talking over each other. I'm going to say one.
Stephen.
I want to talk about Israel. We're going to go to foreign affairs. I want to talk about Israel and how they hit Gaza and how they are waiting for Iran to hit Israel and what they're telling Israelis to do to prepare for this retaliation, and how the United States has taken US assets and deployed them to the Middle East. Who wants to start to talk about how we can stay out of World War III in the Middle East and help people kind of tone down this horrible, horrible impending disaster? Who wants to start?
I'd like
Go
to.
ahead, Stephen.
Oh, the only thing we have to do is show force. The United States show we are 100% with Israel. Iran is not going to retaliate. They won't do anything. They don't have the guts. They don't have the people. They don't have the manpower. They don't have anything. If the United States would just stand there with Israel, like they should have from the very beginning, 100%, not little pieces here and there, stand up with 100%, and we can stop this. We can all stop it. We would have had the prisoners back. We would have had the hostages back. I mean, we would have had everything done within a month if the United States had done what they should have done with their number one ally in the Middle East, instead of the group we have now and the Obama group we had that's on the side of Iran. And if you're on the Obama, Biden, Harris side, you're a traitor to your country.
Why is this
You are
even
a
going on?
traitor to your country.
What's the point?
You are a traitor to Israel and you're a traitor to the United States. Iran says they want to kill us. They want to kill you. Iran says they want to kill you, and you're on their side. You couldn't be more stupid. You couldn't be
Okay.
more stupid.
Thank
And
you,
I don't mean
Stephen.
that bad. I think y'all are
All
smart
right.
people.
Thank you,
That's why y'all
Stephen.
piss me off
Stephen,
so bad. Thank you, Stacy.
Stephen, thank you. You got to stop talking. Okay. Now, Todd, are you coming back to respond, or are we going to Keith or Aguna?
I don't want to respond to that. I want to respond to you. You're crazy. You can't control your show. You let this maniac say anything, but she'll tell Aguna, who's supposed to be rational, reasonable. Oh, you can't let you go on. She's crazy. I'm getting out of here.
Bye.
Yeah, I wanted the viewers to hear Stephen, because that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with people who are irrational and don't even know what they're talking about. Yeah, all of a sudden we're not standing with Israel. We've never not funded. We still giving them weapons. We still help them with the Iron Dome and all this other stuff. You just want to make political points on the show by saying
Be a little more specific, Aguna. Gives Israel more money than any other country in the world.
Any other country. We've never stopped standing by them. And in fact, it's almost to our detriment, because other people have criticized our support for them, right? But we sent multiple carrier battle groups, submarines to the region. You know, Iran responded the last time. This is a complex situation. You can't have zealots like Stephen on here just spouting out non-whimsical nonsense. Show me where we stopped supporting Israel. Show me where we cut funding. Show me where we haven't supplied weapons. Show me where we it's not like we turned a battle group around and not went over there. So all this nonsense about not standing with Israel is exactly that. Stephen does it every show. He doesn't have any proof.
And it's
just
ridiculous.
100%.
And even
All
his
the proof in the world.
boyfriend says we give Israel too much money and we shouldn't give them any more money. That's what Keith said.
But he just doesn't like Obama. He does, even though the funding levels
It's got
remain.
nothing. Who gave Iran a stack of cash? Was it Obama and Joe Biden? Of course they did.
Their stack
Oh,
of cash.
I know what it was. I know what you say. It was frozen. Right.
What language are you speaking?
Right.
What about
the past? They did. Of course they do. They have not. They have been.
I didn't hear the point you were trying to make. What was your point?
I said Israel has not had the United States backing the way they should have, and that's a fact.
And
That's
so how is
100%
that
fact.
a fact? Where's the
Because
funding
they
level?
help, because the United States has helped just enough to for Israel, but not enough.
What?
Not enough.
Oh, they
give
Not
cut
enough.
funding?
money
They
than
cut
any other
funding?
country
No,
in the
because
world,
because a
Did
lot
they
of
cut
things that they
funding?
do, whether they say when they say
Yeah,
we
yeah,
need
yeah.
what we
Did they
need
cut
what
funding
Israel
to
needs to
Israel?
do
Did they cut funding to
call a
Israel?
truce. Our country wants them to call a truce. You can't do that. There's only one thing they're going to understand. You got to take them out. That our country has been wishy-washy
You're
with
actually
Israel. We ought to
voting
be with
block
Israel.
by
Say,
doing
Israel, you know what
You're
Israel
voting
said?
block
You know
by
what
doing
Israel said? You don't have to support us.
You're
We'll take care of this problem.
No, Israel didn't
Okay,
say
shut
that.
up.
Yes, they
No.
did. When Netanyahu was here
No,
and that woman had her flag up calling him a genocidist or whatever she did, she supporting him? Was she
Anyway,
part of the left? The left
okay,
has
you
not
can shut up.
supported.
So
The left
saying,
has
hey,
not supported
Go on and
Israel.
on.
is not supporting Israel. When you
Okay,
tell them
so-
stop killing babies,
Okay, let me just say this. Stephen is so two-faced. Now I'm going to get clips of this idiot saying the complete opposite. Saying
What?
we should stop giving Israel and every other country money. We need to take care of ourselves. We have people, we have veterans homeless in the streets. This is
It needs to be accountable. It needs to be accountable. We don't have that in Ukraine.
Now he's
We
going
need it to be
backwards.
accountable.
You said we should stop giving money to every country until the United States gets their stuff in order. That's what you said, Two-Face.
No, that's not two-faced. Things
it
change.
kind of is. It
Wow.
kind of is.
Things
It
do
kinda is.
change.
I just
It's
You
changed.
idiotic.
have to take these people out. You have to take them out. That's the only solution at this point. If
Okay, thank
five
you.
times
He's a flip-flopper.
Okay, thank
First
you.
he
And
said-
now,
if
Cousin
five
Todd,
times
I'm
they
gonna
try
tell
to
you
take
this.
out Israel has to take them out. They don't want to, they have to.
Okay, shut up.
Well, they're going to
There's
lose.
no
the
truce.
world.
There's no truce.
They're going to lose the support of the world by doing that.
Exactly.
No, they won't.
So,
They'll lose their lives if they
They
don't.
already are.
No, that's propaganda. That's just propaganda.
It's not a fact.
That's propaganda.
That's why in the UN they're bringing them up
The majority of the world knows they're defending themselves.
because they're losing favor because they're not.
No, that's just propaganda. That's multimedia from
Okay,
different.
let's move on.
okay,
I mean,
stop.
the UN resolution's
Laguna
right to
Road,
do.
stop
It's a
saying
fact.
stop killing babies is not supporting Israel. Now let me say that Cousin Todd wants to spend his time vilifying me, saying I'm the problem, and I
You
tell
are.
Who wants to stop
Laguna
killing
he
babies?
can't go on the entire show, and I let Stephen go on,
You do.
and
I want to
Todd
watch
goes
this show
on and
back. Watch this show back, audience, and watch how much Steven talks and talks, and Stacy says
And just
nothing.
saying babble. He's not even having a conversation.
No,
He's
it's
just
just
yelling.
because you're evil. You're evil.
Nobody's having a conversation. It's a monologue, Aguna. Otherwise, we could talk back and forth.
Look, you see what I'm saying?
Okay,
Okay.
Todd,
Nobody's having a
conversation,
conversation, Agun.
but according to
Idiot, I asked him
Stephen,
a question. When did they stop supporting me? He couldn't answer it.
according to
I didn't hear you.
Stephen, I never let him talk. According to Stephen, I cut him off.
Steven.
Because he won.
You've
He
been,
won.
but Stacey, you've been really good with me tonight, and it's been a better flow to the show. Appreciate you.
All right, I'm going to move
So
on.
that right there knows that it's not right. If he's
Cousin
saying
Todd,
if he's saying it's good, it's not right.
If
Cousin Todd,
Aguna and
you
I
wanna
are the
talk about-
stars, we should have a bigger role, right, Aguna?
Okay,
Yeah,
Cousin
I'm
Todd,
with you, buddy.
you want to talk about
No, I
what
can't.
did you no,
Wait a
Stephen, you
minute.
said you should have a bigger role for what?
No, I said if Aguna and I are the stars of the show, we should have a bigger role. It's a natural thing. That's how programs stay on air.
There we
Okay,
go.
so that means forget Todd. He doesn't have a bigger role.
So that's why Todd
Cousin
just
Todd-
disappeared. He took himself out. Keith is right up. Keith is right there with us.
So, Cousin Todd, do you want to talk about former President Trump? I don't know where Cousin Todd went, so we will.
I
move
told
on
you, man.
my
He went to
next-
a safe
Hey,
space.
Stacey, before you
Yes.
do that, I just want to tell Stephen was correct. Israel, in that last package, you remember that the president signed, that Congress put out the bill for funding. Ukraine got the bulk of the money, 60.8 billion with a B. That's what they got. So Israel got less, and then Taiwan got less as well.
So in the aggregate, so funding has gone down because of that one bill. You're not
No,
talking
it's saying on average, they're not getting a lot.
That bill isn't the only funding that they get.
We
So
and
just
we have
saying that
one ally,
we
and we need to be
didn't think about
100%
money
with
in
them.
Ukraine isn't a
We
point.
need to
That's
be
not a
100% with them. They're our
Yep.
only ally over there. They are our friend. We need to be 100% with them.
With
dude.
Israel. I agree.
We haven't stopped funding them. We still give them weapons. How do you
I
think
know,
they
but it's
there and
but they
go?
could do more. They could do more. They're not. That's
All
why
right, what?
Netanyahu was over here going
We
off.
already have
That's
nuclear
why he was
weapons.
going off.
What is doing more?
I think the weapons is
Anything
better than
they ask
weapons.
for, what they need, because they have
Ridiculous.
to.
No,
They
no,
have to take these
no.
bad guys
Because
out,
at the end of the
and they're
day,
not trying to
you
kill
can't get
babies.
anything they
But
ask for.
their
You're not
enemies are trying to kill
accountable.
their babies. That's why they have
Okay,
to
I'm
kill every
not getting
one of
anything
them.
done. Please
So give them
stop.
write
Please stop. I want to move on.
them a blank check with our money and not hold them accountable. That makes a lot of sense, Stephen.
It's not a
Good job.
blank check.
Well, you just said anything
Okay.
they want. You
Anything
said
they
anything
need,
they want.
I want to
because
move on.
Ukraine is
Defense
not doing
Secretary
anything. We're
Austin. Defense
I'm
Secretary
talking about
Austin
Israel. You're comparing them to Ukraine.
fast
We're talking about Israel.
faces pushback for scuttling September 11th plea
Anything they
bargain
want.
deal. The Guantanamo Bay judge is reviewing Lloyd Austin's intervention while a senior Senate Democrat urges the Pentagon chief to reconsider. So what happened was Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, this is wallstreetjournal.com, is facing legal objections and political pushback for his order in this month revoking a just negotiated plea deal to close the long-stalled case against accused September 11 mastermind Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and two co-defendants in the U.S. That the U.S. has held without trial for more than 2 decades. Moving within 2 days of the plea bargain's announcement, he blunted Republican attacks that the Biden administration was coddling terrorists by acquiescing to an agreement that foresaw seeking the death penalty in exchange for guilty pleas and life sentences. Did he, for a Secretary of Defense to do that, it sounds like to me, Aguna, Stephen, and Keith, someone told him to do that. Who wants to comment first?
What's the question?
The question is, it seems like someone told him to do that. Why would he, out of the blue, stop a plea deal made? And these people have been held 20 years without, that's not America. We don't hold people for years without making some sort of arrangements. Either they stay in prison or they leave or they whatever, but they know their fate. And for the United States to hold them 20 years and they not know their fate, and then they decide to give them their fate, and then he says, no, we're not going to do it. Why would a Secretary of Defense just go ahead and do that without the permission from the president?
Well, maybe they had more information about it. I mean, this seems like it's more to it than just meets the eye. They probably had more evidence, or they probably needed more information or whatever. But these are terrorists. If they didn't want to get held, they shouldn't have attacked us. So at the end of the day, they're kind of beholden to the country that they tried to attack a little bit. Like prisoners
I'm
of
not
war.
saying they're not beholden to the country. What I'm saying is, how does the Secretary of Defense have the right to scuttle that deal?
Because he's been appointed for a reason. I mean, I'm sure, I guess, I don't know who said that the president didn't know. I'm sure they're going to have conversations about it, but he used his best judgment because he was appointed in that position. He said, hey, slow down this process. We're not going to go with this plea deal.
Anyone else want to comment on that before we move to our roundtable?
All right. I think he tied it up and put a nice bow on it.
Cousin Todd, what are you doing? You're in, you're out, you're in, you're out. What are you doing, Cousin Todd?
He's playing hide and seek.
Todd, what is Todd doing, man? He's
playing hide and seek.
Crazy.
We ought to say, I see you when he pops back in.
Crazy. So let's do our roundtable discussion. I think, Stephen, you wanted to say something, and Keith wanted to say something on the roundtable. You have 1 minute each. Stephen, you want to talk about, who did you want to talk about? The guy, Elon Musk befriending Obama than Trump.
Elon Musk befriending Obama.
Then Trump.
Oh well, no, I didn't know I was going to be talking about that. What I had said on when we were chatting earlier was that Elon Musk supported Obama, gave him money. He was all in with Obama, and now he's with Trump because he appreciated what Trump did when he was president. So I was saying to Stacey and Keith, I was saying that's kind of like the same way with me. I didn't like Trump till I saw how he was when he was president. He showed me it's not people's words, it's not their actions, it's not their personality, it's what they do. It's not what you say, it's what you do. And what he
What
did
did he do
was better.
specifically?
It was better
Tell
for
us
the
one thing
country.
he did specifically.
He
One thing he did
put
specifically.
a tight squeeze on the border, and it was better than it had been in many years. And now Biden's been there, it's the worst it's been in over 40 years. What does that tell you? We
Okay,
got about
thank you.
20-some million people that are unvetted in this country, Stacey. That's a real bad thing for this country.
He's just going to round them up.
And Obama said he wants 30 million people unvetted in this country. That's what Obama said when he was president.
Okay, thank you, Keith. Keith,
Yeah.
during this roundtable discussion, you have something that you want to talk about specifically, Keith?
Yeah, I want to piggyback off of what Steven said. I'm going to piggyback off of that.
That's not what you wanted to talk about.
What did I want to talk? I want to talk about immigration.
Okay, I thought you were talking about something else.
No, I was just saying that Steven said what he just said. I'm piggybacking off of that, but I wanted to say that immigration. I wanted to talk about that. $5 billion it's costing New York, thanks to Biden's immigration policy. Not Trump, but Biden's immigration. So now there's a $5 billion bill that needs to be paid by New York City, and these are Americans. Once again, the progressives, which of course Aguna seems to, I don't know, he get mixed messages here. One time he's a capitalist, next time he's for socialism, taking money out of my pocket to pay for something that I don't give my consent to pay for. But anyway, $5 billion on immigration chart. Also, Kamala Harris stands up in public just recently. Finally, I mean, she's hiding behind the cameras, like Nas hides behind the camera. You don't know who they are. They're sort of like behind the curtain. And she wants to close immigration detention centers. Now, think about that, Stephen. She wants to close immigration detention centers. That means all of the criminals will be let free into the United States.
They already have been. We're already screwed. We're already screwed.
So New York City, 200,000 migrants illegally entered the country seeking assistance since 2022, and then spending more than $5 billion, the federal government cash. And so once again, redistribution of our wealth is what Aguna and Todd and Nas seem to be okay with.
We said that.
Okay, thank you. Aguna.
Yeah, this immigration nonsense is exactly that. If you were so big on it, why didn't they pass immigration back when they had a bipartisan bill? Oh, it's
because it would have made it easier for more people to get here. No, I'm sorry. That's why. It would have made it easier for more people to get here illegally. It didn't help the problem, it made it worse. Sorry, Stacey, but I gotta correct you.
Look at Stacey. Look, at the end of the day, Trump wanted to run on this issue so people like Keith and Steven can act butthurt about it, right? Because at the end of the day, what Biden did, he said, hey, I'm not going to do certain things through executive order because back when Obama did it, it was such a bad thing. Legislatively, Congress needs to solve it. It went to Congress. Guess what happened? They put together a bipartisan bill. And then Trump made the call, hey, don't do anything about it because I'm going to run on this issue. And voila, here we are. Now, in the meantime, net border crossings have gone down. Crime has gone down. All right. But again, like a caravan, we need to scare people and complain about something in order to run on versus actually talking about the solutions that are going to solve it. And for Stephen and Keith to come on here and say, oh, the border was secure. Okay, how was the border secure? He didn't finish the wall, or did he finish the wall? He didn't finish the wall, all this. Again, you're trying to have this selective amnesia like it was so great under Trump 4 years ago. But what Trump has done, and he's done it great, he's reminded us how crazy he was back then, how crazy the country was, and people are tired. We're tired. We have Trump fatigue. We have Trump fatigue. We're tired of talking about, tired of defending. He gets on there with Elon Musk and rambles on through some two billionaires talking about nonsense for 2 hours on some archaic website that didn't even help DeSantis launch his campaign, and yet we're supposed to sit here and say, "Oh, you know what? Things are so great under Trump." No, they weren't. He doesn't know what he's talking. He doesn't have a plan. You know, he's coming unraveled and he's looking old. So at the end of the day, you can run on immigration. You can sit here and complain all you want to, but at the end of the day, Trump doesn't have a plan. It wasn't great under Trump, and a broken system has to be fixed. And I don't hear anything from, especially the far right, on how to fix it.
He's going to deport them. He's going to deport them and build the wall. What do you mean he doesn't have a plan? Are you insane? Did you forget when he was president? Hey, go back and watch when Donald Trump was president. The wall was big. It was his number one thing. Build that wall. Build that wall. Everything you say is a lie, Aguna. Build that wall. So
he had immigration under control and he didn't build the wall. So now he's going to build the wall to control it. So which is it? You know what I'm saying? The more you talk, the crazier you sound. That's why Stephen left off of here, because at the end of the day, he has
the Republicans and the Democrats.
He has nothing.
He didn't leave
Did he finish the wall or not?
I stopped him.
He didn't finish it. If he didn't finish it, why was immigration under control?
Yes, he's going to finish the wall. Yes.
So immigration wasn't under control under him then, because he didn't finish the wall.
He's not going to fly people in either from other countries.
Cousin Todd, first Cousin Todd, Stephen said that he and Aguna are the star of the show and you are not. Well, he didn't say you are not, but he implied you're not. That him and Aguna are the stars of the show.
Oh, okay. So anyway, you've got to do something about him, because
something about who? About who? Who are you talking about?
Well, who do you think the crazy person is that won't stop? And he and Keith, look at Keith. They take your show to a level of Jerry Springer. I don't want to be on Jerry Springer's show. I never did. I was always embarrassed about Jerry Springer's show. But Keith loves it and Stephen loves it. They know nothing about the show that you're trying to put on.
We're making good points,
and
Tom.
So Stacey, something has got to be done. And all this crazy talk, every now and then, that's funny and it's fun. Every now and then it is, because you can sit back and laugh and say, look how crazy he was. Why would he say? But every show, come on. This is outrageous.
Do you want to make a point on your round table? You've made that point. You can't talk. You can't say it 3 times in a row.
Yes, I can. I can, because you can't say this to Stephen. You can't say, stop, Stephen. Stop interrupting.
Just you have to say something interesting within 45 seconds, or you need to be cut off.
You see this? Stacey.
No, Stephen, you have to stop. So
this should be somebody else's turn. Stacey always gets you good.
You see this? This is ridiculous. And you won't stop this, Stacey.
Aguna said Mexico. Look at Aguna. Aguna eggs him on. Aguna said Mexico paid for an incomplete wall. Border encounters are down. Aguna,
I can't see anything y'all right, so have at it.
And that's why Stephen says they're the star of the show and you are not, Todd.
Oh, gosh.
Do you have anything else? Todd, are you going to talk about former President Trump and his words about Mephisterone at Mar-a-Lago?
What I'm going to talk about is this two-faced Stephen, who said when Trump said, we're going to get Mexico to pay for the wall, Stephen said, no, they're not. They're not going to get Mexico to pay for the wall, because Mexico is not going to pay for the wall. We're going to pay for the wall. That's what Stephen said. And what happened? Mexico did not pay for the wall, just like Stephen said.
Yeah, they did.
We did.
No,
and so
did. He made the people remain in Mexico or remain in the country that they was closest.
Okay.
They didn't pay for it.
This is Todd's roundtable. Go ahead, Cousin Todd.
Right, but see how stupid he is? They paid for the wall, and they did not. And all you have to have is common sense. You don't have to have an education, just common sense to know they did not pay for the wall.
They trickle down paid for it because they kept the people in Mexico.
Isn't that crazy? So anyway, they didn't pay for the wall, and I wanted Stacy to Google what president had the highest deficit in history.
We've already done that. I did
Wait
that
a
months ago.
minute. Wait a minute.
You Google
Trump
it and send it
supporter.
to me. You Google it.
What president had the highest deficit in the United States?
Ever?
You
Look,
Google it
listen.
and you
Was it Trump?
email or
Was it
text
Trump?
it to me.
Of course, it's
you gotta-
Donald Trump.
So after COVID, that was put there purposely to hurt him.
It wasn't
Okay,
because
thank
of
you. Stop.
COVID. What it was his tax breaks for the wealthy.
Okay, you
And
gotta
Not
love
true.
YouTube. Todd, stop. You gotta love YouTube says another good show. Y'all need to promote it. More need to see it. Thank you. You gotta love YouTube. We are out of time. To
I
our
really
first
don't know if I
responders.
want people to see this show because this show is becoming more and more like the
Todd,
Jerry
Todd, you're gonna do nothing but get better. Don't worry about it, man. We got you back.
To our first responders.
Hey,
In our
Stephen.
communities, you make our
Hey,
lives
Stephen,
livable.
I'm
Thank
going
you,
to tell
thank
you
you,
what
thank
that
you.
black woman told that demon. Satan the devil, the Lord rebuke you.
It's Stacy's turn. Stacy.
To our first responders in our communities,
Oh,
thank you, thank you, thank you. To the women and men of the U.S. military for all that you do in sacrificing your lives so that we are free to say whatever we choose on the show. We are forever indebted. On behalf of Aguna, the voice of reason,
JD Vance.
Keith, the constitutional conservative, Stephen, the independent thinker,
Gosh, iron that shirt.
and my cousin Todd with the roses in the background.
And he's got his Olympic medal winning breakdance outfit on.
Oh wow, way to represent.
I'm Stacey. Wait a minute. Let's keep this conversation going on. Stephanie Stallworth, the Flow Television Network, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, Twitter, and like and subscribe to our YouTube channel at spoilertix.com. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us, Nas. He got off. I think he couldn't take, he was sick of Stephen and Keith. So
I think he
got
passed
over
out
it.
the way he was slurring.
We'll see you next week. Good night.
Oh, that was a good show. Todd.
He said
Okay,
that was
Todd
a
said
good
that
show.
wasn't a good show, but we're gonna go.
But do you see how ridiculous he is? Who, that was a good show. That was a crazy show.
Crazy good
not
show.
even air. Do you
Yes,
know
it was a crazy good
Stacey
show.
is embarrassed. Stacy is not
Todd,
like
you
this.
don't. Todd,
And
just
Stacey
because
is
you're
certainly not
Todd, you're more.
talking. Shut up!
you-
Shut up! Shut up! Stacy
You have
has
other talents.
sophistication. Stacy is a classy person. Stacy grew up. I don't want to say too much, but this is not who she is.
Don't say too
Oh
much.
Lord, stop!
She's not this way. This is
You're basically saying we are embarrassing her. We're embarrassing Stacy.
Look at
Todd is.
Look at this one.
Todd, stop embarrassing Stacy. She's your
And
cousin.
so this is outrageous, and I don't know how long Stacy's going to put up with this kind of nonsense.
She's not the one complaining. It's you.
She does complain off air.
You and
We
Aguna
all
You know,
complain about things.
Honestly, Stephen, I would like it if you would stop interrupting Aguna when he starts to say stuff that you don't agree with, even if what he's saying is what you believe is incorrect. Just let him say it. Just like Aguna, I want you to stop antagonizing Stephen.
I'm not.
And sometimes he talks over me too, and both of them, all three of them talk over me. So
I let you talk.
I want you to do
And then
that.
when I start
I want you
talking,
to do that, Aguna.
that's not true, Aguna.
It
For
is.
God's
You
sakes, at
always
least
started.
once tonight, tell the truth.
You always started. See? And And then when I come back, and I actually
I'm antagonizing him. Sorry,
I actually engage you because I like it when you talk because people see how idiotic things that you say. So I want you to talk. So, but I want to make my point too. But then when I start talking, you go, you're a liar. What is that?
In the Bible it says these times up will be down and the lie will be the truth.
That's
And
right.
Stephen,
That's where you are, man.
you can't fly a
You're
flag
a
on the
liar.
show
You're just
upside
gonna say
down.
you're a
That's
liar.
incorrect,
Yeah.
and it's almost
No, you can
un-American.
fly a flag upside down.
No, and it's
You know,
un-American.
it's an indication that your country's in distress, and our country's in distress right now because of our
No,
leadership.
no,
How do you
it's
identify?
un-American.
Oh yeah, that's why Judge Alito's wife, she flew a flag upside down because
Because
they
she's
were
an idiot too. She's an
terrorizing
idiot
her.
too.
She said, "What's
Because
wrong with their country? Their country's in distress. We've had too many years of too many people bullying us."
How do you
No solution.
identify the truth?
That's why the Trump campaign is in trouble because they don't have any
Okay,
They're
solution.
not in trouble. Trump campaign is in trouble if they kill him this time.
How do you
Okay,
identify
Stephen,
the truth?
it's extremely
It's crazy.
disrespectful for you to fly that flag that people have died and put their
He
lives
doesn't
on the
care.
line. Like we have
No,
Gold
it's
Star
not
families who've
disrespectful.
lost family
It
He
members.
says
doesn't care.
It's
Stacey. He doesn't
disrespectful
care about
it means
military
your
to
country.
fly that flag upside down on the show.
No, it's not.
And guess
No,
what?
it's not.
I'm not going to have it. It is disrespectful.
True,
I
Stacy.
Turn the
disagree.
flag.
Your ignorance
Turn the
does
flag
not make
right
it
side
true.
up.
You're un-American.
Yes, it is.
You're
No,
Turn the
it
flag
means
right
it's the
side up.
country's in distress.
You're un-American.
That's my
But you let a
First
Confederate-
Amendment
you let
right.
Confederate
The
flag-
country's in distress. You know what you can do with that flag,
Nah.
Stacy? You can also burn that flag because that's your right too. Because that's the first. Hey, does anybody ever listen to my friend Keith when he talks about these amendments? When he talks about the Constitution? No, you don't. So don't tell me what's right or wrong if you don't know.
Okay,
You
now
are
look at the
wrong.
screen. Look at the screen. It says, "Can I get in trouble for flying the American flag upside down?" It says a person does not receive legal repercussions for violating the flag code. While some people believe flying the flag upside down during a non-emergency is extremely disrespectful, it is not illegal, and the person cannot be punished for it.
There you go.
What I said
Right,
to
but
you was,
I'm doing it for my own. If whatever
Yeah, but
flag
I
I
said it was
fly is for
disrespectful.
myself, because that's
I
my
said it
First
was
Amendment right, and my Second Amendment covers that as well.
Right.
I said it is disrespectful for you to do on this show.
Some people think it's disrespectful. I don't think it's
I do.
disrespectful. It's my political opinion of the country right now is in bad shape.
Okay, you've already
If
said
we don't
that.
win this election, we're in trouble, and this country's going downhill.
Stacey,
We are not going to have a
shut
country.
up,
This is
shut
a
up,
warning to
shut
people.
up.
That's a warning.
Get out of here.
That's
Yeah.
a warning. Our country's in
You
trouble.
won't shut up.
Yeah, because Trump is not qualified to run for president.
Yes, he is.
No.
No, he's
Good
no.
night. Good night, everyone.
Good night,
That's why
y'all.